Game day scoreboard up and at you, and we begin in East Rutherford, where an Aaron Rodgers fumble and a rare, what has become rare, LA Rams touchdown here to Tyler Higbee, long awaited, who's making his season debut after a gruesome knee injury into the end zone. And with that, LA a winner on the road. In studio on Game Day Scoreboard, Joe Musso and Bryant McFadden. Pleased to be with you, Mac, I must say. In the holiday spirit.
No question.
Looking like Matt Claus, hopefully coming bearing gifts on this day. It was maybe gifted to them in this instance, the Los Angeles Rams. The offense continues to struggle here, Mac, but they get one over on the Jets, now 9-6, remaining in that NFC playoff picture. Just how big of a moment was this, but how big are your concerns with the offense right now?
It was a huge moment for the Rams when you look at the good football that we've raved about over the last few weeks, traveling from the West to the East Coast, playing in frigid temperatures, playing against a very, inspired Jets team based on what we've seen from them the last week on the football field. And you didn't get your best effort, especially on the offensive side, but you had enough to win the ball game. This was an ugly game. And you look at the Rams and, earlier in the year, this would be a game that they would lose. They found a way to win this game, hanging their hats on their defense. And then, of course, Matthew Stafford didn't have his best day. But in the more critical moments of this ball game, he was able to lead them to a big-time scoring drive in that pass you talked about throwing to Tyler Higbee. So this was an ugly performance, but for the Rams, it feels so good because, yes, once again, they're in the winning column.
14-19, a $110, a touchdown and an interception for Stafford. This was a long week of travel from west to east, playing in the early window. That often does spell a loss for those West Coast teams, but they rise to the occasion here and take care of one 19-9 your final here against the Jets. Bigger, broader topics to be addressed for the Jets, who seem to have a quarterback that's found a little something in the latter stages of the season. This wasn't an offensive explosion like it was a week ago from Rodgers, but what has this last sample size of a month or so told you about the 40-plus-year-old quarterback?
He seems to be a bit more comfortable in this offense. And, of course, he's been targeting his best friend on the Jets team, which is Davante Adams. It seems like Davante Adams has been the volume guy in terms of targets coming his way. And we haven't really seen a lot from Garrett Wilson. But the connection has been there. Once again, Davante has cashed in big time in terms of production. And Aaron Rodgers, he seems to be having more fun than what we saw in the first few months of the season. Granted, they lost today, but we saw some pretty good things from Aaron Rodgers. And at one point in time, it felt like the Jets were going to do the unthinkable in upsetting the Rams. But the same problem surfaced once again for the Jets. Untimely penalties, untimely turnovers. And when you're a bad team, usually bad things happen to you.
Yeah, they outgained the Rams in this instance by almost 100 yards, about 80 yards of total offense north. Again, offensive struggle on both sides of this one. We'll see what the offseason looks like for the Jets. A lot of decisions there to be made and a lot of guaranteed money still owed to Aaron Rodgers. But let's get back on the Rams because it's a team that remains at the top of the NFC West with this win. Now you're looking down the stretch at a team with the inside track, a head-to-head against Seattle in Week 18, likely to decide that division. How should we feel about Los Angeles? Because I know when they were a 3-win team, you still felt pretty darn good about them.
Yeah, you still should feel good about the Rams and their chances of, most importantly, winning their division because they have the best coach in the division, and I believe they have the best quarterback in the division. And you talked about the Seattle Seahawks. They have a very, very difficult test today at home against the Minnesota Vikings. You're dealing with injuries to your star quarterback in Geno Smith. Yes, he will perform today, but he's not 100%. You get Kenneth Walker, the third back in the lineup as well. But we just have seen inconsistent play from the Seattle Seahawks. And it's the most important thing for the Los Angeles Rams is just to continue to take care of the business because everything could be in the middle of the table Week 18 if things go accordingly for the Seattle Seahawks. That could be their one chance to win the division. But if you're the Rams, winning today was a plus. Winning next week will be an extra plus. And then potentially you can go into that final week already having things locked and loaded in terms of the division race and knowing that you will, most importantly, get into the playoffs, but you will have a home playoff game if you take care of your division.
Big time stuff out in front of this team right now who does have that, as we said, inside track in the division to claim a West that has been up for grabs. And can't say that these last couple seasons with how San Francisco played, they've sort of faded to the background. Seattle still a worthy opponent, but with a quarterback that's less than 100%, as you said here, Mac. When you look at what they have to be if they want to be more than just a division champion and a first-round exit, where does it have to get better? I'm looking at Cooper Kupp right now, and the numbers have not seemed Cooper Kupp-ish, if you will. Puka Nacua also held in check in this one, but we know what he brings to the table. That duo, are they being featured in the right way in this offense right now?
Well, Puka Nacua is, for some reason, Cooper Kupp has been a bit silent. Remember, a week ago, he didn't catch one pass. That is hard to understand and digest. Cooper Kupp, not one pass today. He caught a few passes, but not to the level of Puka Nacua. So everyone else in that offense, we look at Kyra Williams, been doing what they're supposed to do, Puka Nacua. But you have to get Cooper Kupp much more involved for that offense to be at their best. And I believe you better believe Sean McVay, he understands that. In the next week, we will see a lot of plays being called up for number 10.
We'll see how it all plays out moving forward. But in this instance, 19-9, you check the box, you get the job done. No pictures on the scorecard. LA now 9-6 and still top that NFC West. All right, let's take you back out to East Rutherford, where Trent Green is standing by with his thoughts on the tail end of one that traveled with some pace. We're glad that we could get you here in time with this one that moved quite quick, Trent. Offense maybe didn't move as fast. When you look at LA specifically, the team that walks away with the win here, where's your concern level, or is this just that? West to East, check the box, go home with a win.
Well, and I think that's the thing you have to take into account, right? A week ago against San Francisco, it was a rain game. It was miserable, so not very much yardage, not very many points. They were able to get the job done. This week, going cross country, playing an what would be for them an early morning game, and then the conditions, right? How cold it was. We knew it would be focused on Kyron Williams and the running game. Matthew Stafford only had 110 yards passing, so yeah, I think they're fine with that. Talked to Stafford this week. He said, I'm at the stage in my career, I don't really care how we get it done. We just need to find ways of getting wins and getting it done. So I know they're completely content with it. They would love to get Cooper Kupp more involved, but I think they're content with this. And when they get into some more quote-unquote normal conditions, I think you see him throwing the ball more and you see Kupp more involved.
It was a shootout 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, excuse me, against the Buffalo Bills. A couple slogs since, but they get the win here and they head back out west, maintaining that lead in the NFC West. It was cool to see two quarterbacks who went at it in that NFC North for a while, a couple of veterans doing battle today. I know the conversation outside is going to be loud about Aaron Rodgers, but it's the conversation inside that matters. What are you seeing when you look at this 40-plus-year-old playing football down the stretch?
Well, I still see him very effective and accurate with the way he throws the football. He's still got his quick release. He's still got the mind, right? He's still making quick decision, changing plays at the line of scrimmage. I've seen a lot of mobility recently. So every game he's coming back from that Achilles injury, it's getting better and better. His mobility in the pocket has been outstanding. He did get landed on today and got pinned underneath and went limping off the field. They checked him out. He was able to stay in the game, but I think that's been a big part of his game, especially the last 3 weeks. You've seen a lot more rushing yards and a lot more mobility from him. I think he's still got some left in the tank. It's just whether or not that's going to be with the Jets or if someone else will give him an opportunity to start again next season.
Trent Green, we always appreciate your time here on HQ. Happy holidays to you and the entire team out there in East Rutherford. We appreciate you guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Each and every Sunday, there's one place to start your day. That's with our team on the NFL Today. JB and the gang, every Sunday, 12 Eastern time. From in Manhattan, big thoughts, big games, and as we come down the stretch, massive moments. Only one way to start it. It's on the NFL Today.